right? So when I got a phone call from Joe Call saying, hey, look, I'm looking at a project here, it's 400 miles away, but in the spec it says that you have to have an office within 50 miles. You can't bid the job unless you have an office within 50 miles. He's 400 miles away. It was replacing a chiller on a federal project. And he called me up, he says, well, does this mean I can't bid the job? I said, look, it's just like people, what's everybody going to do? Well, if I'm not within 50 miles, I can't bid the job. I said, you're changing out a chiller. What's a non-competing subcontractor that everybody bidding that job is going to use? A non-competing subcontractor on a chiller changeout that anybody bidding that job is going to use. So what subcontractor am I, if I've got a contract to pull an old chiller out and put a new one in, what subcontractors am I going to have? I'm going to have an electrician, right? I'm going to have an insulator, right? I might be a mechanical guy, but mechanical guys typically sub the insulation and they'll sub the electrical, right? So I can find a non-competing sub and call the guy up and say, look, I'd like to have an office in your area. So I find a non-competing sub that's not going to bid the job as a prime and say, I'm up here in Syracuse or Buffalo, New York, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to be able to use your address as on my letterhead. I don't care if it's a closet, a coat closet, or the bathroom, or if you got a spare, desk, right, cubicle. Put my name on it, and I'll do the same up here. So you have an office here in Buffalo, and if I get a job down there, I'll get a Google phone number that'll be in your local area code and number, but it'll come through to my cell phone, so I'll know that it's coming from that area, and I'll answer it. But I need to have an office in that area to go after this job. And if I get the job, I'll turn over the installation to you. Even if your bid's $500 higher, as long as your bid's reasonable, even if it's $500 higher than the next guy, I'll just give you the job. If you'll let me share offices with you, or let me put on my letterhead, and you can put on your website that you have an office up here in Buffalo, and I'll put on my website that I have an office down there. And if anybody asks you, we have a reciprocal agreement, so that I got a presence down there. Now you can bid the job, and it costs zero, right? And I tell the guy, look, you see any projects down here, particularly like change house or anything that need installation, if it's a government job, I'm the guy that'll go get the project for you. And hey, as long as your price is reasonable, even if it's $500 more than the next guy, I'll give you the job, right? And you see how I can take that knowledge, a strategic application of a superior knowledge, and go get cash in the bank?